Hi, I'm Tim. Join me in this video as we take a look at the Ruko U11MINI drone. Nice little drone, under 250 grams, no remote ID required. Let's get to it. Thank you for joining me in this video. My name is Tim. I'm a very experienced RC model airplane pilot. The Ruko U11MINI is my first drone. I think it's a great start for a beginner drone. And in this video, we'll go through everything you need to kind of get started. Because there's a lot of in-depth stuff, there'll be a part 2 with further detail on the software. The Ruko website is a nice website. They make a variety of drones and robot toys. Also a remote ID for $40. You can see another video on that. It's a good website. So let's take a look at the drones. We can see the Mini here is great for an introductory user. I think a very nice price point for that, and just a good presentation of what the drone does. And I think with this drone, you can explore a lot of the features with, following as you walk along, circling a target. Notice that it's under 250 grams, so no remote ID or registration is required. Just a great start to enter the world of drones programming. And if you like it, perhaps you want to get another drone for further your work. It does come with 2 batteries, as I mentioned, less than 250 grams. And overall, I was just very impressed with the drone. I think it's worthwhile to take a little bit of time to look at the box that any product comes on. It's a nice box. Everything is well done, well packaged. I want to point out that it says less than 249 grams, no FAA worry. What that means is it's below 250 grams. You don't need a remote ID or to register this. I did weigh it. It's 234 grams, so that's just for your background information, the 4K HD, 3 modes and so forth. But it's a nice presentation on the box for the U-Mini flying fun for the first time. First time is attractive to me because this is my first drone. I have not flown a drone at all. So let's take a look at what's inside this box. This is a very nice carrying case that comes with it. Nice handle. There is a quick start guide, safety information, and the user's manual. Everything you need is in here. It's a well-written manual. I like it a lot. This is an overlay that we'll see on the controller of what all the sticks do. It's a good presentation for new people like me that have never done anything like this before. So here is everything right here. This is the drone. We'll unfold it here in a moment. This is the remote controller. I've already put in the sticks. They're stored down here. There's a user manual and a quick start guide. I'm impressed with both documents. The user manual has pretty much everything you need. If you're new to drones, there's a lot of new terms and technology. If it gets a little bit overwhelming, just put it down and come back the next day. This video should help with some things. You'll get the free app. You can see this initial screenshot here that has a lot of other control features for the drones. Another item on page 46 is the pre-flight checklist. This is a great starting point for your first flight, just making sure you're in the right area, hooking it up, doing the various calibration checks, which I'll demonstrate in the video. And this, I'll look at some of the screens that'll help you fly, initially take off, and just get ready for that first flight. This will be a brief overview of the U11MINI drone, just the controller, the interface with your smartphone and the drone. There's so much to unpack with the software here. I'm going to do a part 1 and a part 2 video. This part 1 is kind of a quick start guide so you can see how everything works, get up, get a few flights, get some video. And then later on, we'll do it where it follows you. It circles around the point, GPS waypoints and things like that. But this should be enough to get you started. So this is the remote controller. It's connected to your smartphone. This plugs, there's 3 plugs that plug into the controller to your phone. And the reason we're seeing this picture right here, and this is the drone itself, you can see that it's taken a picture of me, is because we're using the Ruko U11 app that does all this magic here as part of the startup. These are the control sticks, and one thing that took me a little bit of time to understand, this is my first drone. I've been a pilot my whole life with full-scale aircraft and models, and when you fly airplanes, It's pretty common. You fly it. You apply power, the plane starts moving forward, the wings generate lift, you pull back on the stick or the control wheel, it'll take off, and you're turning out of traffic, you're flying. And so with these ones, you don't have to fly it. It pretty much flies itself. It does fly itself. So you'll notice the sticks are all spring-loaded to the middle. This stick on the left, think of a stick going straight up and down. It can control climb and descend and turn on that stick. It does no lateral movement at all. So climb, descend, left, right, it just turns left to right, and I'll demonstrate that with a flight here in a moment. This one, you're in a flat plane, so pretend you're on this board. You can go left, you can go right, you can go forward, you can go aft. So this will change your heading, this will move laterally left to right. When the drone is in a position that you like, you simply take your hands off the stick and it maintains that position. So that way you can adjust the camera tilt angle, whatever, to take your picture. So it's a little bit different. And of course, when you land it, because of the computer magic in this thing, it lands itself. So you simply pull this stick all the way down, you hold it down. That's a signal to the drone. It will descend. There are sensors at the bottom of the drone that will pick up the ground. It'll land itself and it'll turn off the motors. So that's how you don't even have to land it. You just pull the stick down, hold it, and it will land. This is a good drone. It's a very good drone. It takes very good pictures. The two things missing from this drone at the price point you get for it, I think this one's about $280, is you don't have obstacle avoidance. It can't see obstacles and fly around them. If you fly towards a tree, it'll fly into the tree. And the other thing is the camera underneath here is just this little camera here is on a mount, but it is not a gimbaled mount. So as the drone itself moves around with wind or just flying, the camera will shift also. You'll have to adapt that to your camera taking procedures for the video. You're probably going to get better video when it's still. If you're moving along or in a turn, it could get a little bit jumpy. That's just the nature of the drone. The other thing to keep in mind, there are no guards around the propellers, which is fine. But if you fly it on tall grass or anything that's not clear, it could get caught up in the propellers. You don't want to do that. You can see when I flew, we just had a white square. So be aware of that. You want a fairly clean area for your takeoffs, and the landings will work out best. Going through the controls here, we've talked about the sticks. This is just a push button, so the camera is either looking straight ahead or straight down. You can just gimbal back and forth. This just turns the GPS on and off. That'll be for the second video. The on-off switch. These are 3 motor speeds, low, medium, and high, just depending on how fast you want to scoot around. And then this is kind of interesting. It's an auto land feature. With the auto land, we're not going to show it in this video, but what happens is you turn on the auto land, the drone jumps up probably about 50 or 70 feet. It takes a moment to orientate itself, and then through the magic of GPS and computers, it will automatically land itself at its takeoff spot that it knows through GPS. The other 2 things I want to point out, this is a button. You hold it down for 3 seconds, you can take video, and if you just hold it for a moment, you can take a picture. And then this one, if you look at this camera right here, notice how we can adjust the gimbal out to go straight down to adjust the picture. That's what that does right here. So I think, or I know Roku's done a pretty good job of simplifying everything. Just the controls you needed are right here. There's a lot in the software menu. We'll go through that in the second video. But that's really all you need to know to take off a first flight. So what I like to do now is just we'll pair the controller with the drone, get it onto the video screen here, and just do a very simple test flight to show you how it works and how the controls work. Remember, this is vertical, up, down, and then this turns it where it is, and this will move it laterally, one way or the other. As I mentioned, these are spring-loaded to neutral. When you just take your hands off the control, everything goes to neutral. The drone simply stays in place, and we'll see how that works. So let's go ahead and pair it now. The first thing we do, per the directions, is we turn on the drone, and then we turn on the controller. There'll be flashing lights, and it'll take a less than a minute, about 50 seconds to pair, so we'll turn off the video for now. This is another look at the pairing and calibration. When you first turn on the drone and the transmitter, you get these flashing lights. After about a minute or so, depending where you are, the lights are steady and the transmitter is talking to the drone. This is the horizontal calibration, nice little video on the screen. This is in the app. The vertical calibration, and then the final calibration step level, and we're ready to go fly. So here it is again. I'm back in my backyard doing the vertical and horizontal calibration. There's beeps that I'll let you know when all that is complete. Once that is done, we put it down on the pad. You want to make sure the drone is clear of any vegetation, leaves, so it doesn't get caught up on there. And you should see it ready to fly on your controller screen. We'll see that later on as we fly. Sticks at the 5 and 7 o'clock position. And that will start the engines, and then you just simply advance the power on the left stick. That controls the up and down, the rotation on a vertical axis. You can see it flies itself. We just touch the top. The drone is very stable. It's just doing this on the own. I'm not flying the drone. The sticks are spring-centered to the middle, and then we can use the various sticks. The right stick can translate horizontal, left, right, forward, and back. And again, the left stick, we rotate around that vertical axis and go up and down with the drone. Very responsive. If you get confused, just take your hands off the stick, and just a little bit of practice, you get pretty comfortable flying the drone. When it comes time to land, you simply take the left stick, bring it all the way down to the bottom, and the drone lands itself. It's a little bit tricky to get on an exact landing spot. It'll take some practice to do that. But you just keep it, the left stick, all the way down, and it will land itself. So this is the app screen. Once it's connected to the drone, you see what the camera sees. This is at my local flying field. You see down below the height in meters, 1.4 meters. And there's me and the guys at the flying field. And we're just kind of experimenting going up. It's a very steady drone. If there's wind, there's going to be a little bit of bumps with the drone. So if you want good pictures, it's best to fly on a calm day. You can adjust the tilt angle of the camera. And then to turn around, you just simply turn the drone with the left stick, and you can turn the picture. Notice as I'm flying, I don't have to worry about flying the drone because I'm spending most of my time looking at the screen, and you can experiment with the up, down, left, right of the picture. This picture is a screen recording of my iPhone. iPhone has a built-in capability to record the screen. There is a memory card in the drone that will probably give you better quality imagery. This is pretty good for now, and so we'll experiment that with part 2 of the videos. Now this one where I'm going kind of high, just to give a preview of part 2, I've hit the auto land function. What happens is the auto land, the drone will land itself. It goes up to an altitude, in this case about 10 meters, orientates itself, figures out where its takeoff spot is, and that's where the drone will come down to land. See its shadow, and it's landing itself at the takeoff point. Thank you for joining me in this video on the Ruko U11MINI drone, and we'll look forward to seeing you in part 2.